Africa, a continent of extremes, where the sun is both the source of life and the most ruthless destroyer. When the dry season descends upon the savannah grasslands, the scorching heat seems to drain every last drop of life. Under a cloudless, deep blue sky, the air vibrates with temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius. Here, shade is a luxury, and water is liquid gold. Every trail, every animal footprint, leads to one place, the Mara River. The river, once the lifeblood of this land, is now shrinking. The water level drops, revealing cracked, muddy banks, transforming the once majestic flow into cramped, stagnant pools. This is when the laws of survival become harsher than ever. Crowding breeds conflict, and in the wild, conflict means death, in a deep stretch of river, where the water slows and turns a murky emerald green. A herd of hippos takes refuge. Seen from above, they resemble giant grey rocks randomly arranged on the riverbed. But don't let their sluggish appearance fool you. These are Africa's most dangerous mammals, nature's armored tanks. Their skin is up to 5 centimeters thick, a biological armor almost impenetrable to ordinary claws and fangs. They spend most of their day submerged, not only to cool their massive bodies weighing up to 3 tons, but also to protect their sensitive skin from the scorching sun. At the center of the herd is the alpha male, the bull. He is a true monster, an uncrowned king of this stretch of river. His body is covered in scars, the painful medallions of hundreds of previous territorial battles. Its small but sharp eyes constantly scanned the water's surface, its ears rotating like radar to catch any strange sounds. For it, protecting its territory and offspring was not just instinct, but a matter of survival. Its ivory fangs, half a meter long, hidden behind thick lips, were deadly weapons, capable of tearing a crocodile in two with a single bite. But today, the river's false tranquility was threatened. A silent shadow drifted downstream, encroaching on forbidden territory. It was a colossal Nile crocodile, an ancient and cunning male. It was a living legacy of prehistoric times, a killing machine that had existed for over 200 million years with virtually no further evolution. Measuring over 5 meters in length and covered in rough, granite-like scales. It blended perfectly into its environment. It didn't swim, it drifted, gliding like a dead log. Harmless and unperturbed. But beneath the surface, its muscular tail moved subtly, adjusting its course with absolute precision. This crocodile was hungry. The dry season had depleted its food sources. The wildebeest herds hadn't yet migrated, and fish were scarce, and hunger had driven it to do something insane, to encroach upon the hippo's territory in search of an opportunity. Its target wasn't the alpha male, that would be suicidal. Its cold, emotionless golden eyes were locked onto a more vulnerable target, a playful baby hippo. A short distance away from its mother's protection, the air on the river surface suddenly became heavy and suffocating. The cicada's incessant chirping in the acacia trees along the banks sounded like a death knell. The white herons perched on the hippo's back suddenly flapped their wings and flew up. Their screeching cries the first sign of something unusual. Beneath the surface, the crocodile began to dive. It vanished completely from sight, leaving only a tiny trail of bursting bubbles on the water's surface. The assassin had switched to stealth mode. Pressure sensing organs on its lower jaw, tiny black dots more sensitive than a human fingertip, were detecting the slightest vibration in the water. It sensed the clumsy footsteps of the baby hippo paddling. It calculated the distance, speed, and timing, but it had underestimated the king's hearing and vigilance. The alpha male hippo suddenly stopped chewing the water weed. It lifted its head, its nostrils flaring as it inhaled the scent on the wind. The smell of mud, the smell of moss, and, faintly, the characteristic foul odor of reptiles. The smell of an intruder. Its small ears twitched. It sensed a change in the current. A large object moving beneath the surface. Suddenly, the alpha hippo let out a terrifying roar. The sound was deep and resonant, like thunder, shaking the surrounding water. It wasn't just a roar. It was a declaration of war. It lunged forward, transforming its 3-ton body into an icebreaker, tearing through the water's surface to lunge towards its endangered offspring. At the same time, the water surface exploded. The crocodile, realizing it had lost the element of surprise, decided to gamble everything on speed. It shot out of the water like a ballistic missile. Its jagged teeth wide open, aimed directly at the baby hippo's neck. Water droplets splashed and froze in midair like shattered crystals under the harsh sunlight. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Life and death were separated by a hair's breadth, but before the jaws of death could close, a mountain of flesh and muscle descended. The alpha hippo, with extraordinary speed contrary to its bulky appearance, lunged forward to block the bite. A dry, sharp crack echoed, the sound of the crocodile's jaws slamming against the hippopotamus's thick, tire-like hide. The impact was so powerful that it created a shockwave that pushed back the surrounding water. The real battle had begun. This was no longer a hunt, it was a duel between two giants, representing the two most powerful forces of the river. The crocodile, consumed by pain and